If someone set you down right now and asked you to walk them through your retirement exit plan, not your 401k balance, not a rough guess about Social Security, but your actual plan, could you do it? Could you explain it clearly, confidently, without pulling up a spreadsheet or saying, I think, more than once? If the honest answer is sort of, no, or I've thought about it, but I haven't really nailed it down, I want you to stay with me today because what I'm going to walk you through is the difference between thinking about retirement and actually planning for it. And these two things are not the same. First, let me say this. If you don't already have a clear exit plan, you are not behind. You're not irresponsible. You're normal. Nobody taught this in school. The financial content out there is either so complex it makes your head spin, or it's so generic it doesn't actually apply to your life. And somewhere between raising kids, paying a mortgage, changing jobs, and just getting through the week, retirement planning keeps getting pushed to the I'll deal with that later bucket. But now it's later. Here's what I've noticed talking to people in their 50s. Most of them have thought about retirement. They have a general sense of what they want, but when you ask them to actually explain the plan, what comes out is a collection of hopes, assumptions, and numbers they heard somewhere that may or may not apply to their situation. That's not a plan. That's a starting point, and there's a big difference. Here's why I want to have this conversation with you now, specifically in your 50s. Your 50s are your highest leverage decade. You likely still have income, you still have time to adjust, and you still have options that start narrowing once you hit your early 60s. The real risk in waiting isn't just financial, it's losing the choice of when and how you exit. Because here's what I've seen happen over and over again. People don't always get to choose when they leave the workforce. Layoffs happen, health issues happen, burnout hits a wall, AI takes your job, and suddenly the decision gets made for you on someone else's timeline, not yours. And I'll be honest with you. I'll just work longer if I need to, is something a lot of people say. But let me tell you something. Age discrimination is real. I have seen it in action. Opportunities at 62 don't always look like opportunities at 52. So the plan you build now, while you still have full options, is worth far more than the plan you scramble for later. So the question isn't whether you'll exit the workforce someday. You will. The question is whether it happens on your terms. So let's talk about what an actual exit plan looks like, because most people think it's just a savings number, and it's definitely not. A real exit plan has 4 components, and most people are only thinking about one of them. The first one is a number. Not a number you read in an article somewhere. It's your number based on your actual monthly expenses, your real lifestyle, and your honest spending habits. Not what you think you spend, but what you actually spend now. Most people are off by about 20 to 30% when they estimate this, and the gap matters enormously over a 20 to 30 year retirement. The second is a timeline. When do you want to exit? Even a rough target year, 58, 62, 65, changes how you make decisions starting today. A timeline without a number is merely a dream, and a number without a timeline is just a spreadsheet. So you need both of them working together. The third is a bridge. And this is where most people discover they've been thinking about the wrong question. They've been focused on how much they have saved. But what actually matters is, will the income from those savings plus Social Security actually cover your life? Because here's the thing, most people don't realize until they sit down and run the numbers. The balance in your 401k looks like a lot of money, but when you convert that into monthly income that you can safely withdraw without running out, it's usually a lot less than people expect. Add Social Security on top of that, and you've got the total retirement income. The question is that number enough? Does it cover your actual lifestyle? Does it leave room for the unexpected? Healthcare surprises, inflation over 20 to 30 years? Or is there a gap? The gap, if it exists, is your bridge. And most people don't find out about it until they're already retired and realizing their money is disappearing faster than they thought it would. The bridge isn't just the years before Social Security kicks in. It's the difference between what your retirement income will actually be and what your life actually costs. The fourth is purpose. What are you exiting to, not just from? Retiring away from a job you hate is a reason to quit. It's not a retirement plan. The people who struggle most in retirement are often the ones who never answered this question. Those are your four pieces: a number, a timeline, a bridge, and a purpose. Without all four, what you have is a partial plan, and partial plans have partial results. I want to ask you something. Actually, I want to ask you several things, and I want you to really sit with them, not just keep watching. These are questions that separate people who have a plan from people who think they have a plan. There are no wrong answers here, but there are uncomfortable ones, and the discomfort is the point. If your portfolio dropped 30% in the first year of your retirement, would you actually be okay? Or would you quietly need to go back to work? Do you know the exact dollar amount you need coming in every single month to cover your life in retirement? Not your total savings, your monthly income needed. If you stopped working tomorrow, how many months could you cover your current lifestyle before you need to make cuts? Would it be 6 months, a year, 3 years? What's the one expense in your retirement plan that you're assuming will stay the same, but probably won't? Have you actually calculated what your 401k will give you per month in retirement? Or are you just looking at the total balance and hoping it's enough? If healthcare costs you $1,500 a month for the next 10 years before Medicare kicks in, is that already in your plan? What will you do on Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. that is meaningful enough to replace work? Not a vacation answer, a regular Tuesday answer. If any of those questions made you feel uncomfortable, that discomfort is not a warning sign. It is information. It's showing you exactly where the gaps are. And the gaps you can see are gaps you can fill. I want to name 3 things that keep most people stuck at this age, because I've seen them come up again and again. The first is overwhelm. There's so much information out there about retirement that it's genuinely hard to know where to start. And when everything feels equally important, most people end up doing nothing. Here's what I want you to hear. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know your next one step. That's it. The second is avoidance. Looking at the numbers can feel scary, so people put it off. But here's the truth. The plan you don't have is scarier than the plan you do, even if the numbers aren't perfect yet. An imperfect plan that you're working on beats a perfect plan that lives only in your head. The third is the "it's too late" belief. I hear this a lot from people in their mid to late 50s. They assume the window is closed, but it really hasn't. It is smaller than it was at 40, which means the decisions you make right now carry more weight than they ever have. That's not a reason to panic. That's a reason to move. Okay, so what do you actually do with all of this? I'm not going to give you a 20-step action plan because that's more overwhelm in a different outfit. Instead, here are 4 things, one per category. Things you can do this week that'll move you from guessing to knowing. On the financial side, write down your actual monthly expenses. Every category. No rounding, no estimates. This single exercise will tell you more about your retirement readiness than almost anything else. It is the foundation of your number. On the healthcare side, look up what a private health insurance plan would cost you right now if your employer coverage disappeared tomorrow. Just knowing that number, even roughly, changes how you think about your timeline. On the timeline side, pick a target exit year. Write it down somewhere that you'll actually see it, even if it's approximate, even if it changes later. A written target creates focus in a way that a mental note never will. On the purpose side, write one paragraph describing a specific Tuesday in your retirement life. What time do you wake up? What do you do before noon? Who are you with? Where are you? If you can't write it yet, that's your sign that you haven't imagined it clearly enough. And that's okay, but it's worth sitting down and doing the work. If this video helped you see gaps you hadn't named before, I want to give you something that'll help you close them. I put together a free resource called the Retirement Gap Analysis. It walks you through this entire process in a structured, step-by-step way that's built specifically for people in their 40s and 50s who are serious about getting this right before the window gets any smaller. And even if you're in your 60s, it still is helpful. This isn't a generic checklist, not another overwhelming financial worksheet that's going to take you hours to do. It's a real working document that helps you get clear on your numbers, your timeline, your bridge, and your purpose all in one place. And it calculates it for you. The link is in the description. It's free. Grab it, work through it, and if you have questions, I'm here to help. And if this kind of straight talk about retirement planning is helpful, please subscribe to the channel. I put out a new video every single week breaking down the real questions people in their 50s and 60s need to be asking. No fluff, no scare tactics, just clarity. Here's what I want you to walk away with. You don't have to have this all figured out. Nobody does on day one, but you do have to start. The people who retire on their own terms aren't smarter than you, and they didn't have some special advantage you don't have. They just started asking the hard questions earlier than most people do. And you just asked them. That already puts you ahead. So if this video was helpful, please share it with someone in your circle who needs to hear it. You might be doing them one of the biggest favors of their financial life. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.